Hi, my name's Rick Hayward from Panasonic New Zealand, and what I'd like to show you this afternoon is our electronic notice system for schools. This system is based on a piece of software called PADS, Public Area Display System, that's developed in the Netherlands by a company called Network Display Systems, or NDS. What we've done is taken this digital signage software and honed it down and refined it for use in schools. To do that, we've simplified the interface so that teachers can get in, enter their notices and get out really quickly and simply. They need to have no familiarity with the operating and complexity of the overall software system, but can just dive into a simple access database, enter a message header, the body of the message, and the start date and stop date, and get out, and that information will then appear live on the networked signage system around the school. So it allows you to distribute your school notices around any types of displays that you might have in your school, be it a plasma, an LCD, a projector, that type of thing. So if we have a look up here, we can see that we've got various areas in the school. We've got classrooms, for example, we've got public areas such as libraries or the reception area. And if we come to the classrooms, we can break that down into subgroups. So we've got, as a mock-up here, for example, room 11, room 12, block C, room 1, or science labs. If we go into science labs, we can drill down and send a specific message just to the chemistry lab if we want. If we want to send notices to all the science labs or all the classrooms in the school, then we simply come up a level and distribute that content right across all those areas. The trick with the system is that we want to make the interface for the teachers as simple as possible. So what we've developed is basically a interface here which is running in Microsoft Access. So it's just a simple Access database. And we've tried to get this down as simply as possible so that if a teacher wants to go in and create a message, for example, the sports messages, they go into this screen here off their computer and they go, for example, a swimming notice, and it might be training cancelled today. And then they literally just come down and say, what day do I want this notice to start playing? I want it to play today, for example, the 12th of May, and I want it to stop playing today as well, the 12th of May. And I simply add that record, and it tells me that it's been added to my database. And now wherever those notices are scheduled to play, for example on a screen or an LCD around the school, then they'll play back and it will be updated basically immediately. So the strength of the system is a really simple interface for the teachers to use, yet the signage software is able to pull that data from an external source. So there's no need to have any intimate knowledge of how the screens are designed or laid out or whatever. So if I just minimize my database and we have a quick look back at how do I distribute that content. Well, for example, if it's just school notices, I would want to send it to every classroom in the school. Okay, so we can create a schedule to send the notices out to the classroom. And typically in a school environment, we would want to create a recurrent schedule. In other words, we may want to send it out at morning break, at lunch, after school, that type of thing. Now in this instance, I want to send the messages to all the classrooms. If I come in here, I find my messages, it's called school notices, and I'm sending it out to all the classrooms. I want the notices to start today and to have no end date. And I want them to go out every weekday. And then up here, we can look at what time do we want it to start. For example, we may want these notices to start in the morning at 8 o'clock. And we may want them to finish at 8:30. So we create a before school schedule, if you like. We would create a morning break schedule, a lunch schedule, and maybe an end of day schedule. Click on next, click on finish, and now what we've done is create a recurrent schedule for all the school notices to go out every morning from 8 to 8:30. We've seen how the teacher goes in and enters the information. They just go into that Access database, and whatever they put in will go out and be distributed around the school. So if we want to do things, for example, maybe in a public area, we might want to display some images or some promotions for the school, perhaps school production, perhaps student accolades for students who've done well. Then in those areas we can schedule completely different information. They may be pictures, they may be video clips, flash animations, whatever we want, we can send to, for example, the screen at reception or a screen in the library. So it's completely customizable. We can deliver content to all the screens simultaneously or drill down to an individual screen and deliver content to that. We decided that, well, look, a lot of this hardware already exists in the school. For example, we have interactive boards in the classroom frequently, or at least projectors and certainly laptops. So we have a small piece of software that we can run on the desktop called a desktop viewer, and we would install this in the classroom on the teacher's laptop. And basically the teacher can be working away on the interactive board on a projector, and they'll get a small notification balloon down here saying there are new notices. So it doesn't interrupt their workflow, but at morning break, for example, when the bell goes and they're about to walk out of the classroom, they can click on that notification and the notices will play back on the projector or the screen in the classroom. The final piece to the puzzle is that we can actually deliver alerts or notices, emergency type notices to the classroom as well. So for example, if there's a fire alarm, we can send an alert to every classroom, and no matter what the teacher has on their screen at the time, this alert will override it. And it may be an emergency situation like a fire alarm or a school lockdown or something. Then from a central point, normally the office, an administrator can send that information out to every classroom in the school. So basically that's the system in a brief nutshell, if you like, and really the essence of it, or the core of the system, is the simplicity to operate from a teacher's point of view. No need for training them up on how to actually use the pad software. Remember, it's just that access database. We can send customized messages to any screen in the school, so we can distribute content across the whole school. Or we can drill down and send separate content to the reception area, to the library, to the gym, to the science labs, to the classrooms. So it's that ability to really customize your content to your customer, if you like, or your client around the school. So simple to operate, very flexible design interface. We can add any type of content, media-rich type content like video, flash, PowerPoint, PDFs and so on. So a very simple interface for the administrator to work with, but remembering the whole time that the key to it is that really simple interface for the teachers and the ability to take advantage of existing hardware in the school. So projectors, interactive boards in the classroom and a teacher's laptop. We don't need dedicated hardware around the place. The whole system operates on a Windows-based operating system, and you know, a lot of schools, a lot of classrooms already have that sitting in there, so all we need to add is that little desktop viewer module. So that's a once over lightly. I hope you enjoyed the product and that you see some real potential for it.